You know what? It's great. If you kind of know the history of my career and where I've been about, growing up in the Midwest, growing up in the Twin Cities, playing Division III basketball, you always were aware of Eau Claire and the tradition and the strength of the WIAC. And then as I got into coaching and matured in my coaching career and went around the Midwest and out to Colorado and throughout the state of Wisconsin and Illinois and Iowa, I always kept an eye on this job as, boy, that'd be a great destination place. And it's a phenomenal community with a high academic standard and a great tradition of basketball. So it's one of those jobs that you always kind of kept an eye on. If that opportunity ever came about, well, that would be exciting because it's a place where I could feel comfortable raising a family and laying down some roots and still have a thing to do, a chance to do what all coaches want to do, which is win. And win with great student athletes. And not only win at a conference level, but win at a national level. And I don't care if it's Division I, II, or III, as a coach, that's your goal. You want to win, you want to compete, you want to have great student athletes who graduate. And at the end of the day, when you can get into a league and get into a situation where you feel comfortable and confident that when you give your best, you have a chance to advance into national play, I think that's a great situation and one that certainly my family and I were excited to get an opportunity. I didn't know it was the success they've had in the women's sports. And then, the fact that this year they got 7 of the 8 teams in the spring sports playing in national, championships and competing beyond the conference regular season. I wasn't aware of the great success that they've had across the board in the WIAC. And it speaks, again, to the strength of the job, the strength of the community, the strength of the school. That the university, in that regard, kind of recruits itself, and you're able to get a class of student athlete here that would be an absolute joy to coach and give you an opportunity to be successful beyond the regular season here in the UW-Eau Claire. To coaching, my goal was to try to coach at the highest level I could. And I really worked hard to get to that level. And I had an opportunity to work with a great guy in Tom Crean at Marquette. One of the things you learn that the higher you go up in athletics, in the basketball world, is that it becomes much more corporate. And you lose your attachment with the student athlete. And to me, that's why I got into coaching. My memories as a player at the Division III level are what drew me to coaching, and the passion I had for coaching and teaching. And then the higher I got up in that, the more I lost that. And the more I knew I wanted to get back to that. And one of the litmus tests I use in recruiting has to do with my family. And when we go through the recruiting process, I've got a son that's 11 and a daughter that's 9. What kind of environment do I want to raise them in? What kind of environment do I want them to be a part of? What kind of team do I want them to be around? You can have that here. And I can feel comfortable with my kids running around in the gym and knowing that they're not going to come back with a whole new vocabulary and seeing things and hearing things they shouldn't hear, before the age of 18. That appealed to me, and that excited me. And that's kind of what, so it transcends level. Level has never been important. It's being where I'm comfortable, where we have a chance to win, and you surround yourself with great people. And certainly that opportunity is presenting my attention. I'm going to climb this ladder as fast as I can climb. And I got to the top of the ladder and looked around and said, this isn't necessarily the place I want to be. Let's look around and figure out where we're going to be comfortable and where my family and I, my wife and I, can put some roots down and develop a program. And if there's any drawback to the things I've done in coaching, and I don't have any regrets with what I did, it's that I haven't yet had the opportunity, and I'm going to someday, I know I am, to start with a group of kids as freshmen, coach them all the way through, have them graduate, come back, and then be a part of that program. And I can't wait to get to that situation. And I certainly think, because of my background, and because of the history I have, because of my values with my family, this is a place where you're a national champion. When you win this conference, you have a chance to win national championship. Not just in basketball, but in any sport. So my expectations for the program are, one, we're going to recruit and maintain great student athletes. And they're going to graduate. Doing that, we're going to go through the process of winning championships, and that starts at the conference level. My expectation is to compete at the top half of the league, to compete for conference championships. It's been proven that once you do that here, you have a chance to compete at the national level. So I don't think any coach is going to sit up here and say, we're going to win a national championship next year. But I know every time we take the court, our goal is to win the game. I know that if we do that enough, we build that mentality, and we build that toughness within our team, we build that identity and that swagger, they're going to be able to compete at a national level. Just like they have in a variety of other sports here. And you see it on the women's side, with softball about to, throw out the first pitch here and host the regional tournament. And they have that same mentality from talking to their coaches this morning. That's exciting as a coach to be a part of. I want to play Hamlin, my alma mater. That'd be a fun thing to do. And I think we may even, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. That's a possibility. But then there's, I've got competitive rivalries with some of those schools. I want to play St. Thomas so bad. I was 0-8. I mean, you don't have to look it up. We were 0-8 against St. Thomas in my career at Hamlin. That might be option number 1, because they just won the national championship. So I'm one of those guys that has the mentality of, let's play the best. In order to be the best, you got to beat the best. And so if we want to recruit in that direction, we got to start playing some teams and some games in that direction as well. And so I've got no problem with that. I'd love to get some of my MIAC buddies back on the schedule and see what they can experience in Zorn Arena. I'd like to, welcome them. Much like being a Vikings fan, unfortunately, I get closer to Packer land here. I don't feel very welcome. Let's do the same to my MIAC buddies to the west. Can't rely on that. As my wife told me the other day, I'm not the young campaign anymore, although I'm still fairly young. I used to have that going for me. No, what I really think it is and we've touched on it a little bit, what I think sets me apart is the experiences I've had. And that I have can bring to the table immediately a broad spectrum of recruiting ties and abilities that'll allow this university to expand on the territories that it's already successful in. We're going to be able to draw kids locally. They're excited and they understand and know what UW-EC is all about. What I want to do is spread the message of blue gold basketball into the Twin Cities, across the borders, into Milwaukee, into Madison, and get those kids, here in part of our university. And I think that I've got a unique ability to do that because of the experiences I've had, because of the contacts I've developed, and because of the good fortune I've had with the great mentors. I've had phenomenal experiences. I've had success in postseason play and kind of been to the places that I know we can take this program.